here for another Tuesday night Čačo Busin, Tuesday night Circle True Friend. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you are returning, welcome back. If you have found yourself here for this relatively timeless reading, it is because you are finding yourself wanting to play all day instead of fight the good fight, quote unquote, and all the different ways that plays out. And before we jump in about how we may assist you playing your cards for life worth living that you're already playing, some disclaimers. I am not a doctor, lawyer, therapist. I'm a fortune teller. So what I offer is no substitute for their services. Furthermore, what I share does not determine your future. Only your intentions and actions do. So please use your gifts of discernment before deciding what to gather and take away. And of course, take only what resonates and blow like a kiss the rest to the universe for cosmic composting into beauty. This circle is for fun and games, for shits and giggles, for entertainment, for flexing our heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, emotions, and intuition. And at the least, we hope to cause harm to none. And at the most, we hope we may assist you on your healing path. And as we have the world in front of us and the world inside us, may we, with you, take another moment to offer our heartfelt, hearty hearts, the loveliest love in our hearts, and just spread that through ourselves. And if it feels right, out through the world, out through the universes, your bright love light, and we can say a little healing prayer together for ourselves and those who have crossed over to Father Sky and those who remain left behind on Mother Earth. I apologize. And you are a whole, full, loving, powerful spiritual being, and so am I. And we thank your source, spirit, team, angels, ancestors, galaxy guides, saints and sages, gods and goddesses. Universe is here for the highest love and light as well as mine. And we thank your source and my source for immediately shifting the situations into what they need to be, offering necessary insights, healings, acts of grace, protection. Heartily, we are grateful. And so it was, and so it was, and so it was, and so it was, and so it is. And thank you so much for joining me in that. So powerful. We are so grateful for your brilliant, creative energy. And we are Kale Romani Gypsy, immersed in adoption spirit magic since 2021, playing our cards to stay alive and thrive, and maybe we can help you do likewise. Me, myself, and I, we feel honored to thrilled to collaborate with you all, capping off a career in education by serving as the first licensed fortune teller in Nepenekikit Summer Home, aka Wareham, Massachusetts, since 2020, and which to take proprietus since 2022. In 2000, we began to play our cards to make our dreams come true, our wildest dreams come true, and glory be, it worked, and now we get to share that with you, and that is thrilling, especially with everything we got on the plate, right? Everything in front of us, everything we're being invited to reassess. Do we really want to do that anymore, or do we want to do this instead? And so Čačo Busin, true friend, how you say true friend in Romani Chib, Gypsy tongue. That is Romanes, the language of the Romani people, and akin to the first tribes. There are so many different compañías. That's how we call the tribes. And so in different dialects, perhaps you may hear Chacho, Busin said slightly different around in each different country around Mother Earth between whichever Romani you happen to cross paths with. And so Chacho Busin is a spirited circle to assist you to help you play your cards. And God willing, however you call God, it's grounded in compassion, scientific method, and effective adoption and education practices. This circle helps you make and play your deck of cards. Well, you're already playing. You're playing before you came to Mother Earth, and so maybe now you're playing with more focus and intent, and perhaps you're swapping out Uncle Sam's cards for your own. Perhaps you fill in the blank, all the different ways that plays out. And so this circle helps you to make and play your deck of cards, eases worries and aligns missions, shifts obstacles into building blocks, and enhances your past, present, and future. But you got to play to win, right? And if you really are making your wildest dreams come true, then you're committed to play, and that some of them will happen immediately. You'll see the transitions, and others are going to play out over moons, suns, perhaps like a whole kindergarten through 12th grade again, or maybe 13, give an extra year for bells and whistles, and you fill in the blanks. And so you can lean into that, knowing that this is your abstract professional and personal development plan for life as you and life keep changing, as you and your needs and your wants and desires and your standards keep shifting, and as life keeps shifting. And perhaps we understand more about that, especially since 2020, how our standards shifted, our needs shifted, our wants shifted, our desires shifted, and now we want a different life. And we're perhaps being faced with old ways of life that seem very aggressive now, or don't fit, or tire us out, or wear us down. And um, perhaps we don't have to run around saving everybody in the world anymore. We can just take what's going on around the world as an invitation to reflect back, and how, hey, wow, we don't, perhaps reflecting, perhaps we're doing that as well at some level, and we don't want to do that anymore. We don't want to fight anymore, right? We want to play all day. We don't want to fight any good fight, right? Because people die, people get raped, and leaving orphans behind, and um, so on and so forth. And so, but we can reverse that. And so we're doing it. We are already doing it, and we can feel wonderful in that and rest in that. And put the cards on the table, up on the shelf, bring them back down off the shelf onto the table, as needed. And this circle, in the circle, you may ask for assistance playing your cards, and put to test my 17 years of collaborating with adolescents and family, my 10 years as a high priestess, 3 years coaching beginning and master teachers, and a lifetime of adoption experiences. This circle is intended for informational and educational purposes. It's not intended to substitute for professional and medical advice, diagnosis, and or treatment. Please consult your medical professional before making changes to your diet, exercise routine, medical regimen, lifestyle, and or mental health care. And while we're there, some quick cards we can throw on the table that you may hear me say again, because part of my job is to repeat myself. One of my duties is to repeat myself like a happy broken record. So as we are moving away from that fighting spirit and we are immersing into adoption spirit, some cards that we can lean into instead of the force march, the flip side of that is slow roll. And so perhaps you can make a new card to add to your stack if you don't have that already. And you can catch yourself in the force march and say, oh, wait, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not racing around from here to there. I'm not engaging in that racism anymore. To keep up with the Joneses, to fight the good fight, to save whichever poor pet, orphan, woman, child of the day. And so slow roll, especially everything going on. And you may check in with your preferred astrologer to see more about the energies, to understand that perhaps one of the reasons that there is so much people seem to be popping off is, well, you can see it in the stars. And so perhaps that's something that helps you stress less, which is another card, quick safety card we want to throw on the table up front, quick, that may come up a lot. And the other side of that card is stress. So perhaps you do all nice and pretty, stress less on one side of your 3x5 card that you're literally making out your own flashcard. And on the flip side, in pencil, you can just write stress, stressed. So you can remind yourself that when you're stressed, oh, yes, I'm stressing less. That's one of my new standards now that I'm not fighting. I'm playing through life. I'm not fighting through life. Anger less is another. We could get really angry with everything going on. And so anger less is a beautiful standard that we can turn to remind ourselves, oh, yes, well, we're not getting angry anymore. We're not doing that fight. We're playing all day. So what do we do instead of get angry? We honor the fact that sadness comes first, and all sorts of ways that can play out. But the slow roll card, the anger less card, the stress less card, rush less card is another. And you can put those all nice and pretty on each on their own card on one side of the card, and on the other side of those cards you can write in pencil the force march, that fight flip side. So on slow roll that might look like speedy, racing from here to there to keep up with the parade, or whatever holiday or good fight needs to be fought. Anger less, the flip side of that may be angry, mad. Stress less, the flip side of that in pencil would be stressed. Rush less, the flip side of that would be rush. So just some very elementary safety cards that are that we've already been playing, but just perhaps to put more emphasis by writing it down and on a 3x5 card, and actually starting your stack there if you haven't actually started your stacks. If your stack of cards is your phone and or your computer or your scrapbooks, perhaps you start to actually put some to flashcards. Just get some of your preferred 3x5 cards, and you can start here with these safety cards if they're not already in your decks. And so, yes, especially in your own neighborhood, with your neighbors, going to your doctors, doing your regular circuits, going extra slow, giving extra space to get from here to there, just so you're not feeling in a rush because we're playing all day. We're not doing the forced march anymore. We're not fighting any good fight, quote unquote. And perhaps that honors how you want to lead your life differently now. And you may even go so far as to sit out events like Veterans Day or Thanksgiving Day and play your healing cards. Really lean into your healing cards, whether that's Epsom salt baths or reading different treatments or taking in different treatments on the media that are assisting you play through. And so those are some upfront safety cards, especially as we see people killing themselves and others. And sometimes we're feeling that as well. And we don't really want to do that. So, what do we do instead? So, these are some of the things we do instead to play through that, right? And just to honor what is. And I'm not saying don't get angry, don't stress, don't rush, right? Because that's humanly impossible. We're human, these things come up. But how to play through them in a fluid way that um, um, feels correct for you and is playing through instead of fighting the fight. You're letting it flow and you're relaxing instead of getting all clenched up, right? So, those are some basic safety cards that you may be interested in up front. And um, some other bits before I get too much into this, before we dive into the dice and what notebook got chosen today. Um, you might know, you might want to triple check, quadruple check, if you haven't already, the description to read more about what happens in this circle and decide if it is for you or not. And you're always welcome to change your mind. You think it's for you, awesome. You change your mind, awesome. Right? You gotta do you. Um, but I want to be upfront because I don't want to step on your toes or hurt you. So I'm trying to share these disclaimers so you are just aware and you know that when you're stepping into this circle and we're talking about the adoptee, so many things come up, so many different types of people. And so I'm going to share some of those just to um, allow you some time and space to see if this is a circle that you want to hang out in a minute longer. Or maybe you come monthly, or maybe you decide to come back weekly. So here we go. So literal and figurative, abused, neglected, orphans, adoptees, aliens, black with a lowercase b, black with an uppercase b, child of divorce, criminal, dog, East and West Indian, quote unquote, firstborn, gypsy with a lowercase g, gypsy with an uppercase g, homeless, immigrant, lastborn, queer, LGBTQ plus, however you want, however you fill those in, middle child, naturalized citizen, only child, orphan, outcast, outlaw, refugee, Romani, scapegoat, Sinti. Let's see. Oh, you fill in the blank. And also let me know if I misspoke any of those. And again, you're here because you want to, you wish to, you desire to, you need to play all day and night. End the blame, shame, and end game. Activate free will, liberty, love, and tolerance. Adopt success for one and all, transmuting violence cycles into love. Build upon your blessed deck of cards for life you need, want, desire as you and life keep changing. Experience directly the alchemy of lifelong learning. Enhance your past, present, futures scientifically. Expand dream space time. Transform obstacles into building blocks. Align heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, emotions with standards relevant to you as you and life and your needs, wants, desires keep shifting and life keeps shifting. Align with K-12, preschool, and post higher levels of education, standards relevant to you. Determine your blessed boundaries, dreams, and needs. Identify, develop, maintain free will from crisis, diaspora, survival, pilgrimage, blessed dreams coming true. Dance away from grief struck by loss, fearful, authoritative amygdala, cycling, fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fawn states of emergency. And I giggled because, like, these are mouthfuls. So feel free to pause it, rewind it, pause it, rewind it, pause it, rewind it, or like, wow, this is not the channel for you. And that's all right. There's somebody out there for you, and you, for starters, right? So keep doing you. Um, Immerse into adoption spirit magic. Flip even more sustainably the fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fawn, racism. That racism, racing from here to there to keep up with the parade or the Joneses. The racism, the hate, the violence, the intolerance, the interference that loss, not evil, breeds. Double down playing your cards. Dismantle old earth and rebuild new earth with joy and peace. Begin to earn, anonymously and unofficially, a free PhD in adoption, alchemy, dignity, education, equity, folk art, free will, gaming, joy, justice, liberty, life, lifelong learning, justice, play, sustainability, tolerance, unarmed truth, unconditional love, daily in practicing and studying liberal arts to free your will to evolve as you grow, learn academically, linguistically, culturally, as you want, need, desire for life worth living, as you and life keep changing here, there, and beyond. Oh my God. That was a list, wasn't it? And so now you are also here because you seek sustainable local and global education, entertainment, family, business, government, healthcare, home remedies, justice, life, media, recreation, sports, transport, and worship. And God, I hope I read all of that in the right order. That was much, but this is for us. This is for you. This is so we can play through those times when we feel so grief-struck by loss, possessed by loss, that we want to hurt ourselves or somebody else, but not really, right? We want to get out of that cycle that we have seen documented across the world in all different cultures and beyond. And so thank you for taking such sweet care of yourself and daring to show up and play. Like, wow, we're doing it. We are shifting into a whole new way of being. And thank you for being a part of it. So fun, fun. We got some fun dice today. The 7 popped up, the 5 and the 2. So you may enjoy checking out the numerology more on your own, because we are all different psychosocial science experiments. And what resonates with you may be different than me. And so I enjoy inviting you to explore for yourself. And we're digging into the numerology because that's one of the cards we can use to play through loss that is really no fucking fun, right? I mean, people are killing themselves and dying. So how do we play through when we're over here and doing what we're doing? How can we possibly make a difference by doing things like this? So thank you very much for making a difference and showing up. And so that number 5 and 2, we could look up such beautiful numbers. 5 helps. I have these cards here where I've trying to learn my numerology and different facts. Cindy Dale, thanks to Cindy Dale, Subtle Energy Healer. You may find her on YouTube and Instagram, and her Subtle Energy books online. So fabulous. And also National Spiritualist Association of Churches.org. That's where I got the information on these cards, which is numerology and definitions that may assist us in our play. But the 5 helps us go any direction at will, like a hummingbird, and provides us the space to make decision making. And that number 2, pardon me, is so wonderful, especially for the orphans, the border babies, the orphan women and children, and because it helps us establish healthy relationships, right? And it's just not the orphans and the adoptees who are trying to establish healthy relationships. It's the data is showing so many of us. And so we can lean into that and really just enjoy that one person at a time, all together apart, we end hate. It's in the cards and we can keep playing. And so I'm looking for the 5 and the 2 and the 7. And so you can see this is one of the ways we play through. You can put your affirmations, those safety cards, on cards like these if you want. You don't have to use flashcards. All right, so it's challenging to talk and look through these cards and the camera at the same time. I'm learning much as we go along. Okay, so 2. As I was saying, so we can picture the 2 around, perhaps envision it over the world, in our minds, in our hearts, and just picture those healthy partnerships where we're not giving away our power, and maybe we make a chant or a song or an art piece with the numerology. And here's more about that too, that's so beautiful, that may assist us helping ourselves and also assisting the world with whatever all the different people and relationships are facing right now that we're seeing, right? 22, I love that. That's coming up. And 5. Oh, that happened to be on the number 5, so I guess we needed to see that. Thank you, source. And here it provides the stability to go any direction at will. That is so fabulous. Creates a space for decision making. So awesome. So beautiful. These numbers came up together, especially with what we're experiencing internally and externally throughout our worlds, right? So these are ways that now that we're not force marching, racing around to save the world, we're doing it from wherever we are by playing our cards and moving minds, not munitions. And that is thrilling. And so is there another 5 in here for us? Yes, there is. And I see the number 7s. Oh, here. Oh, this is awesome. Keeps us from taking on everyone else's issues and thus becoming overburdened, right? Another way you can keep from becoming overburdened is by turning off the news, right? And instead of the news, do healing treatments that you know may help you with the issues that everyone else around you see is facing. It's like a mirror. You can see they're facing something that you're facing. So, oh, well, I'm not going to race around it getting their business. I'm going to fix it myself and perhaps help them by doing that. And miracles beyond belief. I mean, just you can watch them unfold and share, right? Let us know what you find and what you see. I mean, we keep seeing again and again. So the 7 is so beautiful. These beautiful numbers coming up tonight. Invokes divine assistance, which helps with any boundary problem, which is what we've been seeing internally, externally, with the abused, neglected, orphans, adopted, that suicide 4 times more mistaken and mistreated is evil. All the ways that plays out: bipolar, addict, ADD, scapegoating. Not that those people are evil, but you know how people talk, right? And those who haven't identified as orphan and adoptees, dealing with peril issues perhaps, and unconsciously or not working with them. And then countries parallel dealing with similar issues, adoption issues. And so the 7 may be wonderful in assisting us through that and trusting, no, we're not meant to fight. We're just being invited to check in with ourselves. Is this really how we want to move forward? Because that perhaps is what we all have been doing, not just who'sy, whatsy, and whatsy who'sy, right? And so beautiful. And this numerology is, I just appreciate that so much. And there's cards all over the place. I'm going to leave them there. I may offer the other Čačo Busins as we are winding down, because these cards have come out in the other Čačo Busins, but there's definitions about our feelings, the difference between feelings, emotions, 5 basic feelings. I think in the last session those came up. So you can check that out for more fun. Also, definitions of a spiritual healer that may assist you in your development. Perhaps you decide, oh, that's me. Sort of like some people say, everybody's a teacher, everybody's an artist. Some people say everybody's also a psychic and a medium and a fortune teller and an intuitive, and only some choose to study and practice for life worth living. And so, teachers too, right? And so, yeah, you can check out these different spaces. Perhaps there's repetition. Perhaps that's okay because you just, you're in a space where you want to kill yourself or somebody else, but not really. And you just need to hang out and with a true friend for a minute, but not really, just virtually, and have somebody there with you playing through. And you can do your thing as you're with this true friend. So this has got some fun stuff in it, this notebook that we're going to go through briefly because we're wrapping up. Different ways your cards play out, right? Perhaps you go out into nature and help yourself flush out all the sadness and the anger that's coming up, reminding you of your own issues from childhood, and taking breaks from finally, looking under the carpet, right? Taking breaks to out in nature to just allow yourself to be and learn new things. So different cards playing out. Posters are cards. I'm seeing here different, looks like an old calendar. Gifts from students. Oh, note cards on spirit animals. Oh, look, my other name. Oh, look, my other address. Doodad from when I was so blessed to be able to collaborate with Master Teacher Mentors in Arizona, the second cadre of Master Teacher Mentors, to assist teachers staying in the classroom because teaching is so challenging that so many leave. And so Janet Napolitano was just about to head to Washington. We were the second cadre of teachers that she helped initiate to help teachers stay in the classroom because teaching is so difficult. And so I did that from 2007 to 2009 with Amphitheater High School in Tucson, Arizona, and the New Teacher Center running out of UC Santa Cruz, and ASU Tempe, UC, Arizona K-12 Center, pardon me. So I'm saying all those so you can check them out yourselves and tap into those resources. And there was another piece about that. Oh, yes. So I went rogue after that. I went rogue because it just hit me like a ton of bricks or something that, wow, all the teachers, teaching is so challenging that so many leave the classroom. And it just reminded me of what I was mentioning a minute ago about everybody being a teacher, and then parents being teachers, and the parents in the classrooms of life, and the parents in the classrooms of life of orphans and adoptees. And it's not just the orphan and adoptee that goes through that, right? This is why maybe throughout the media we see such a fascination with Orphan Annie and all the different ways and how many superheroes or some variation of an orphan, to the fascination with Gypsy, which is another variation of orphan in a way, right? So I went rogue to take a different angle to help the parent teachers stay in the classrooms of life, because it is so challenging that many of them leave, and some of them leave to go to war. and within my own families, birth families and adoptive families, and just seeing the data from all of that play out, not to mention in the personal and professional experience as in the classrooms as a history teacher, social studies teacher, and before that in the treatment centers with troubled youth and family that were left behind, placed by parents or judges, or taken the hit. And that's another reason why I am doing what I'm doing. So, oh, this is fun. So, different cards from, oh, these are fun. Just old teaching cards, trying to wrap my head around teaching in the classroom. And so there's this beautiful program called CRIS, creating independent student-owned strategies. So teaching the students basically how to run the class themselves, because that's most effective, right? Peer-to-peer learning is most effective. So how do you really, pardon me, inspire your students to work themselves? So you can look up CRIS, creating independent student-owned strategies, and or perhaps those different new teacher center at UC Santa Cruz or the Arizona K-12 Center in Arizona. And perhaps you start picking up some resources, different resources, one per year, and you start making your own cards. And so these are some of my lesson plans, first day lesson plans. Fail to plan and you will plan to fail. These are old. I might rewrite these, right? I was young, relatively young when I did these. I mean, okay, not relatively young, but this was over a decade ago, over 2 decades ago, maybe. I can't tell you. And planning with the end in mind, right? We're all going to die. And if you are practicing psychic medium and collaborating with circles, spiritualist circles in your area, then you know, oh, well, life goes on after death, and lifelong learning just got really long. And that purpose of spiritualism, those churches around I think you find them all over, is to prove continuity of life, personal survival, and unfoldment and growth, which is so parallel to education when you think about it. And other books that may flip your lid if you are digging the teaching aspect. Understanding backwards design, Understanding by Design. Sometimes we nicknamed it one way or the other. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. By Wiggins and McTighe, Tighe, I think. Wiggins and McTighe. Understanding by Design. So just playing around with, life and how you want to play and different resources that may flip your lid. So those are some. And I mean, maybe you dig your spiced rum label and that becomes one of your cards. Or maybe you just jot a note about the Heart Sutra, like you're grateful for that. Maybe you've been to a beautiful event by a wonderful sibling of yours. You've been so blessed to be able to connect with birth, adoptive, marriage, families, siblings in different ways, and or friends or people, or you just love a certain band or a certain artist, and so perhaps those are some of your cards. Posters, events you've been in, different art you've done. Me and my sisters. One of the first cards I did. I am an artist, and 12 years later participated in the first female gypsy art history culture exhibit in the USA. So beyond wild dreams come true when you play your cards. And you just keep playing and honoring the safety cards when you got to tag out, and just rest and going slow and leaning into the creativity, because that's one of the things that really helps us get ourselves back together. And sometimes it's really challenging to be creative when the devastation of loss is got you, and to honor that and have your cry towels, your treatment space, whether it's crystals and Epsom salts, certain people you talk to, you have that ready for those times. And perhaps you have love letters from your people, all the different ways the cards play out. Perhaps you have certain scripture. I'm sorry, I apologize. We are just starting year 2 of our business, and to help those on the healing path play through. And this may be a little wild as we're pulling it together. And also, I do want to share that perhaps you're looking at all this like, I can't even contemplate that right now because what's happening is so devastating. And so that's real. That's part of why learning needs to be put aside. We really need to honor those times and not think we're stupid or dumb or we're not getting it, but no, we just got to deal with our grief first. And so if that's where you're feeling after sitting through some of this, and then we invite you to check in with the professionals in your area and see what healing treatments may assist you through these times, whether that is Reiki or massage or talk therapy or all the different ways that plays out to help you to honor that grief. And what do you do now that you're just not getting mad and racing around the world and trying to save the world? How do you process that grief that's so much that you want to kill yourself and somebody else, but not really? And so the cards come into play after you've tended to those moments where you're so devastated you can't even think about getting out of bed, right? All right. So I just wanted to make that distinction. And we are so curious how come adoption has yet to solve the problem of leaving behind young through elder, person, place, or thing that we began shamed, blamed, and scapegoated and trashed, that we began seeking and sharing solutions. And in our personal and professional experience, we see that loss most blocks learning, leading, loving, living, not evil, while simultaneously breeding hate, intolerance, violence against self and others. We see that evil is scapegoated loss. Each time we look evil in the eye, we see hurt in disguise, calling for the salves of unarmed truths and unconditional love. Not always our turn to serve, right? Sometimes it's not our turn to serve, it's our turn to tag out and go play our cards. Like, sorry, tagging out from Veterans Day, going and playing my cards. Sorry, tagging out from Thanksgiving, going and play my cards. And so just offering those for you to consider and check in with to see how that resonates with you. And because of this, because we see that loss most blocks learning, leading, loving, living, we offer products and services, and which to take, it's up to you. Each solution in a different way may help you expand time and space to move safely from crisis to diaspora to surviving, thriving, pilgrimage, and blessed dreams coming true as needed. And we want to share some of those so you are aware, and also let you know I'm sorry, I'm getting a couple things coming in right now, so I'm stuttering a minute. Um, so currently, you may secure any service or product of your choice and contribute to which to take with cash, check, PayPal, or Venmo. And we have a couple free courses offered through the 25th, and then they shut. And we've revamped them for next year. They'll be gone. So if you want it, check it out, test drive it, give us your feedback. So, or you just want to test drive it, um, you have till the 25th and then it shuts, which is that one course is 2 hours, another course is a little less than that. Oh, so Adoptive Parent College 101 is free. It's a 1 hour online course. And for anyone in the adoptee community, from the fire station to the ER to the, you fill in the blank, because everybody in the, if the U.S., Russia, China adopt the majority of the world's orphans. Well, everybody's in the adoptee community. So this Adoptive Parent College course is for everyone, and it's free. And as we are wrapping up our first year, jumping into our second year, and there is also almost daily openings in the afternoon, 30-minute, 15-minute, top of the hour, and you can use the rest of the hour to integrate whatever you got from the half an hour. We do an annual fair for free. It's a low-key, on-the-fly art fair between Women's Day and Hair Jalezi, which is the first week in May, like a neighborhood Romany festival. You could apprenticeship for free, learn by assisting with tasks like sweeping up our messes and transforming blogs to books. We're at band camp. You can walk with us there for a spell, and thanks for not tripping when we fall. We have blogs for free. Writing is my path away from modern day slavery. I wrote on a green card around 2000. So at my blogs, you may see how that's been going. Gypsy Myth Debunked, established in 2009. Romney Ramparts, established in 2015. Land of Art Monastery, established in 2015. And the Gem and Pen, established in 2020. Also, Calendly, you may freely book a paid session with me at Calendly. I adore offering healing sessions, especially as loss most blocks learning gets in the way of learning. So if I can offer you a healing session to help you help yourself release those blocks that are stopping you from getting to where you want to go, from developing as you wish, that's awesome. That's thrilling, glory be, right? So the Calendly there, you may book a session with me. Čačo, Busin, you're here. This is a free group. Tuesday Night Circle. Color coding. We can do a karma graph and a chakra clean for 30. I'm not going to mention prices, actually. Let's just say that. You can see on my site. Most of this is free right now. And that color coding is I guess it would be helpful to say the price is $33. And sliding scales. So if you're like, wow, I don't have 33, but I have 3. Okay, talk to me. Let me know. Email me at whichtotake@gmail.com, right? Because we don't want to let you down in your time of need. And you may find me at DeviantArt for free. I have a couple books on Instagram that I've put onto a reel, just little books. One of them is called Erecting Liberty. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not on Instagram, it's on my Linktree. You may find me on Facebook for free, but I'm not active there very much anymore. In moving from here to there, shifting, immersing, dancing out of the fog of adoption fairy tales and gypsy myths, and also stepping into my destiny as a fortune teller, I have new boundaries. So you may see that play out on my Facebook and Instagram. We have folk art for you if that's what you need to help shift yourself through. And so you may visit our gallery on our website or ask when you're curious, and the website's on our About page. You may access us on Google Voice. We offer ghostwriting if you just want to talk and have a friend type, $44 an hour. Hard to Hold is another book, little mini memoir, 2-volume book you may find on our link tree. You may find us on Instagram for free, LinkedIn for free, and we are pretty out there with the Adoption Awareness Month happening right now, and the Decade of Rome Money Inclusion happening, and Every Student Succeeds. And so there's lots of sensitive content there. So tag in, tag out whenever you want, or you may prefer a different channel altogether because it's too much for right now. You need a different treatment, right? So just want to offer that and give you the heads up so you don't go in there and go, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Not what I signed up for. We do a moonly molt for maybe you relate to molting snake looking like death and desire some assistance with that process. You may ask to be put on the wait list. That's $111. Free PhD, we mentioned that already. At your own risk, you may participate. You're already playing your cards, so maybe you're in already. Orphan's Oracle, you may ask to be put on the wait list for this book. Pendulum Swing is another offering. We have Book of Poems, readings for $22. Oh, that's not correct. I apologize. Readings in Reiki, you can do combined or separate. 66 or 88 for both. 66 for Reiki, 88 for Reiki and reading. Oh, yes, 22 for just a straight up reading. Thank you. And which to take, what kind of reading? Ancestor, crystal ball, dream, heart, inner child, oracle, past lives, psychic, soul, spirit, spiritual guidance, tarot, resolution, Romany, or runway layout. So different types of readings that may help you play through if that's what you want right now, need, desire, to help you get to playing your cards because you're not quite there yet, or you're just in between. You can recall adoption with us. That's free, and that's on Instagram, one of the reels, the pinned reels. You may find out more about that. It's already happening. Operation Fog Lift is in effect. You may connect with other adoptee activists like Adoptees Connect through our link tree. Scroll down, you'll find Romany and adoptee activists there to hang out with if you would enjoy a couple extra people in your circle or want to shift this channel, right? Just offering that for you. And so Reclaim Your Game is the other online course we have, which is parallel to what we're doing now, but more organized. What we did for, what was it, 5 minutes in between the playing your cards. So it was more organized, going through strategy and tactics, and that's free right now also through the 25th of November. So you can double down on those. And also we are running a camp for family, and they told their friends. You may ask to be put on the wait list. And that is something that is would be quite a holiday, saving for that. That's one of our big plans, and so you may start saving for that if that is something that's interesting to you, to help cover room, board, and the workshop, the camps. Shuffling States of Emergency and Adoption Spirit Magic, you're doing it already. You're playing your cards. That's free. Teacher Gone Rogue, I Broke the Code. That's another small mini book I have on my link tree that you could read. WhatsApp, you may find me there for free. Websites, you may find me there for free. X, you may find me there for free. Careful, don't trip when I fall. Right? Sometimes I'm tripping back into the fog of adoption spirit, of gypsy myths, of quote unquote evil, of the quote unquote evil of the parenthood, of the amygdala. And so you you know, give me at least 6 feet. Don't trip when I fall. If I seem to be acting like a tyrant, my authoritative amygdala is acting out, I apologize. You can let me know if that seems like something you want to do, and I can make amends. But just to honor that, like, we make mistakes, we trip and fall, and apologizing is a beautiful, beautiful piece of that, and something that perhaps wasn't so much part of that fighting culture, the fighting spirit, you know. Um, a whole culture, a whole group, a whole mass learned, oh, love means never having to say you're sorry, and all the times. Wow, it would have really been helpful. Conflict could have been resolved with some sincere apologies. And so learning how to do that, learning how to give a sincere apology, and um, especially in situations playing out from exploitation to slavery, right? And how to forgive. And, you know, we get it. People get possessed by grief and do all sorts of fucked up shit. I mean, it's been documented throughout history, and we get it. Everybody's possessed by grief. Nobody's evil. It's just loss. We've been scapegoating it, and now we can work on healing it. And everybody can just danger steer clear and keep playing your cards. And so that is wrapping up what we want to share with you today in this circle. And we went over, but so much is happening and going on. And so we just wanted to take a little extra time. And if you have questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you may email us and we can address them in next week's circle. And I apologize if you were leaving comments and I wasn't noticing as we were live. I'm learning more how to manage all of that effectively. And thank you so much for steering clear of danger, even when that's me, for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit magic, and for playing your cards. Heartily, we are grateful. Until next time, ciao for now. We love you all.